you were interested in maybe doing a DLI enrichment for families and inviting families in, you could do a DLI specific book tasting for them that may have some bilingual books or maybe just Spanish books. In addition to DLI STEAM nights and all of those other ones we already kind of talked about, maybe doing an art social, a family tree, a DLI family tree night. We talked about Dia de los Muertos has been already a tradition, thanks to Elizabeth, who started it when she began our elementary or our kindergarten. And it's just been kind of going on ever since. And so if there's anything that you see here on this list that you would be interested in coordinating and organizing, feel free to complete the extra duty forms that we shared last time. We had mentioned also last time that we wanted you guys to think about some other ideas that you haven't heard or haven't seen on any list that you may be interested in maybe trying out this coming school year, depending on what it looks like. So now anything that you put here, it could be either like a live enrichment or family engagement opportunity, or it could be something that you plan that would be virtual, but that you're inviting your students in, your families in. And so we just kind of wanted to hear from you this one last piece, if you have any ideas that you had been thinking about before we move on to our Module 8.
Well, I appreciate that you mentioned folklorico last time, because I would love to do something more with that. The idea was this year I was going to get started with 5th grade, and then it was going to grow, and then here we are in these COVID times. But I would still be happy and open to doing something like virtually, like even if it's a workshop and it tells a culture about a region in Mexico or something like that. I would love to do something like that. So, you know, just an idea that I know it's been on my mind for quite some time.
Okay.
Like,
I don't think
Bertha, did you mention folklorico? It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Did you mention 5th grade? You said you wanted to do 5th grade?
Oh,
for folklorico?
So the idea, because this year I started with 4th grade, so the next year it would have been, I would have been teaming up with the 5th, and then we would have, you know, I had a different vision pre-COVID, you know, the pre-COVID situation. But just what I was saying is that now maybe I can think of something else to do virtually where you think about the culture of the different regions. Okay, I didn't know if you call that. Sorry.
I know it's been doing that even when Tina and I we were initially. It's been doing that, so it's not you. So then you would be servicing 4th and 5th grade students, right?
Well, truthfully, I would be open to, I mean, if it's going to be a virtual thing, then there really is not much of a limit on how many kids I could have, really. So I would be open even to do like a lower grade and an upper grade DLI folklorico workshop, just to teach about the culture and some dances. That's something that I could offer virtually, at least now.
That's so beautiful. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bertha. And just for the long run too, about how many students, just for in long term, about how many students you typically serve when you're doing like a group? About how many students can you accommodate?
So this last year we did 30 kids, 30 4th graders, you know, just to get my feet wet to see, okay, what kind of parent support do I have? Gisela, oh my goodness, she was my right-hand person in all of this, you know, so in between two of us, we were already talking about the possibility of opening it up to 30 other students from a different grade. But again, you know, all this happened and now we're just trying to adjust in the best way that we can to still keep it alive.
And is this for students specifically, or would you invite the families as well to connect with you?
That would be great to have the families there. I mean, especially as the kids are learning, you know, that's one of the things that I was so touched by. A lot of the parents were like, I want to learn too. Can you do a parent workshop? And I thought, oh my gosh, how incredible, how fun. So it would be more of a family thing, especially with the little ones. You know, they would probably want an adult there to help them along and learn together.
That would be so super cute. I love it.
That would be. Okay. Crystal is saying in the chat that she'd love to join if you need any extra help, Bertha. That would be amazing.
How awesome. And Gisela, of course. Yes, yes, yes. That's awesome.
And so when you guys coordinate that kind of thing, please think about your planning time. I know Tina, she'll probably cover this in a few minutes, but she's revised the extra duty form to really showcase the planning hours and then the actual activity hours, and because we also want to make sure we compensate for your planning time. So anything that you ladies need, if you want to kind of UDL it and start with the end in mind and how many hours you'll need for planning and the activities, please let us know, and everybody who's interested in doing this project. Thank you so much, Bertha and Crystal and Gisela. I see too, Tina Xochitl is sharing about Acadians, that she held a couple of sessions to show parents how and what to do with Acadians, and she got a really good turnout.
All I can hear is static, but I think I heard you say something about Xochitl's chat. I don't know if we do any Acadians assessments, but I held a few sessions. Oh, okay. A few sessions before testing, showing parents how and with what the kids would be tested. I love that idea. I really love that idea.
This was for our family collaboration sessions. So with that, I thought, well, you know, I think the parents, like, they would want to know, like, what they're being tested and how they're being tested. So I held some sessions, you know, showing them, like, the nonsense words, you know, like those, like, CBC words, like, you know, this is, you know, of course I didn't show them the tests. I showed them, like, the end of the year or whatever other test that we didn't use. And I just put it under my hover cam. I'm like, here, you know, this is how, you know, they're going to be tested for 1 minute. You know, this is how we're going to be marking it. And so I would explain to them, okay, like, so what I need you to do at home, you could practice, you know, their sounds, you know, their letter sounds, consonant sounds, digraph sounds. And so it was very good. Like, I had quite a few parents coming because of course they want to know what they're being tested on and how they're being tested on and how they're being marked. You know, like, oh, you know, if they don't say it correctly, if that's, you know, they're not going to get that point. Or if they read it wrong, they're going to get it wrong. Or if they even guess a word, guess what? It's going to be marked wrong. So I went through the whole process a few times with them, and I mean, they really liked it. So I think that's a great idea. I don't know what kind of testing to do with DLI, but that would be like a hook, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we do also have Acadians testing for DLI. So if you ever hear us mentioning anything about IDEL, and so it's an acronym for, I can't even remember what, but it's IDEL. And so that is the Spanish version of the Acadians. And so all of those, and for third grade, we've had everything except for the maze. But we've had our translation team actually translate even that. And so this coming year, you guys will be able to have all of the same assessments that have been provided through regular Acadians for grade levels. Every single grade level all the way up to 5th grade is ready to go for the fluency piece, for the maze and all of that. So you guys will be good to go. So absolutely, if you wanted to share that with parents, you can utilize either the Spanish version or the English version and be able to explain to the Spanish speaking families as well as the EO families. So that would be great.
A question, you did it for lower grade, right? Did you do it for 3rd grade? What grades did you do?
I did it for kinder, you know, starting with their sounds, and then I did it for 1st, and then I did it for us as the 2nd grade level. So I would show the parents, like, you know, this is, you know, kinder, this is what is expected for them for the middle of the year testing. For 1st grade, this is the middle of the year testing. So yeah.
Would you be open to doing something like that for our kinder first? Yeah,
for sure.
That's really, really good. Well, thank you so very much, Xochitl. We're definitely gonna be in contacting you soon, especially for the kinder, since we are going to do a little something with our kinder families before the school year begins.
Yep.
And then Crystal is mentioning, I think that 5th grade could use some of the pre-state testing parent sessions.
Yes, I love that.
Okay, that's good. But I don't have an idea of what it is. I'm sorry, but if you do, Tina, that's excellent.
Yeah, you're just talking about, Crystal, just informing the parents of the expectations for the CAST and the physical fitness testing.
Like 5th grade just has so many extra tests, you know, so I'm sure by by the time they get to 5th grade, they've already heard about the ELA, CASP test, you know, so the LPAC and all of that. So I think just the parents might be curious how students will be tested in science, you know, and how students will be tested in PE as well. So just kind of including them in that and just kind of expanding their knowledge, because I can tell parents are very involved, and I love that, you know, so might as well just expand it as much as we can.
Exactly. Perfect point. All right, I love that. Anything else that you guys have in mind? And again, this is seriously, it's an ongoing conversation. So as things come up and you see need, whether it be with your students as far as intervention wise, or you just feel like they need some sort of a cultural experience just so that they understand throughout the year the importance of why our goals are for them to be bilingual and biliterate, and just kind of bringing that back as often as possible. Any enrichment activities that you have that would relate to that and prove to them that there's such an important purpose behind all of the extra things that they've been doing in class, that would be great. Anything else before we move on? Okay. All right, well, thank you guys so much. So there's our 15 minutes, and that was our module, just to kind of finish off the rest of the information that we wanted to share with you in regards to this module. So it's up to you guys if you want like a 10-minute break before we get into module 8. And then because module 8, we're going to be talking about step up to writing. And so, you know, once we get started, we're just going to kind of rock and roll our way through it. So if you need to grab some water, go to the restroom, anything like that, let me know. Otherwise, we'll go straight through. And obviously, you know, I'm not chaining you guys to your computers there. So if during this you need to just get up and take care of business, go for it. And you know that whatever you miss, the recording will be available on the module doc. Okay.